it's just time to say officially what we've been saying is probably needs to be done at the end of the season, but maybe it just needs to be done now. Maybe it is time for Daboll to go to just ride off into the sunset here. He starts off 9-7-1 and 22, goes down to 6-11 last year. Now 2-10 on this season. I mean, we're going backwards, guys. We're going backwards, and that's not the sign of a good coach. Last year we gave him kind of a pass because of all the injuries. There was a joke about Justin Pugh coming off the couch and playing, which he basically did. But that's because of all the injuries we had. The injuries aren't as aren't as big this year. Kayvon was out for a little bit. Aziz already went into a spot. Aziz is not out, but Kayvon's now back. Andrew Thomas has been out, obviously, for a while. We had this game now with no Tommy DeVito, but to be honest, he's not exactly the next Tom Brady. This team has been taking steps back. And it's time to, I wouldn't say necessarily right the ship, but it's time to admit the problems, start looking at the problems and going, what can we fix now? So we can kind of get a head start and rebuild this for next year. And I really think that first step is Daboll's got to go. You're an offensive-minded coach. And we have literally the worst offense in the entire league. The entire league, guys. That's bad. We can't score anybody. We had the fewest touchdowns in the entire league. And if you look at the numbers, we get to the red zone. We just can't score touchdowns. This is a team that is absolutely pathetically inept at offense. When we have a coach that was supposed to be a quarterback whisperer and an offensive guru. And to me, a lot of the offensive problems stem from after that Cardinal game last year. Remember that second half that all of a sudden had the most amazing offense you ever seen in the Giants, in the Giants in the last 10 years. And we came back and won and beat the Cardinals. I think that got Daboll's head too big, honestly. Then it became I'm calling the plays and taking the play calling back that I'm not, that I am, that I am not, that I am. Then it became he took it over full time this year. And guys, the play calling's not been good. Flat out has not been good. The offensive players don't play well. The plays themselves aren't well called. There's times there's definitely head scratchers in every single game where you're like, what the hell? Why would you call that play there? And we got talent. We got the best rookie wide receiver. We got the best rookie running back in this league. You got offensive line that obviously Andrew Thomas is hurt, and that left tackle position is a big issue right now. But there is some talent there. Jermaine Illuminor obviously is also out right now, but he was healthy for most of the season. John Runyon's a good pass blocker, though obviously a very poor run blocker typically. Greg Van Roten's been playing better. JMS, his second year, has definitely improved. He's not great, don't get me wrong, but he's definitely improved for what he was last year. Theo Johnson's shown you flashes at times. Definitely had an issue with the drops, as most of the teams have, but he's been hit flashes. Wandale's been a guy that's been that short yardage, receiver that just keeps getting catch after catch after catch. Darius Slayton is Darius Slayton. He's a 700-yard guy every single year in, year out. There's talent on this team, guys. We can't get it done. So it's either one of two things, play calling or execution. And both of those things land square firmly on the head coach. It is time to make a move. And we talked about it last week as a potential. And if we fire Daboll, this would be a good option. In my mind, we should fire Daboll and give the interim head coaching job to Mike Kafka. Let him take on the reins. The offense was better when he was coaching, when he was play calling it back in 22. That was a different offensive scheme. There's a lot more screens, a lot of more, effective routes being run. It was a smoother offense overall. Granted, we also had Saquon Barkley we don't have now, but Tyrone Tracy's been good. I just, to me, it's just how many weeks do you watch this and go, wait a minute here, what's going on? And next year, guys, we're going to have probably a rookie quarterback. I mean, who knows what's going to happen the rest of the games here? But as of right now, we're going to have a top pick where we're probably going to go get a quarterback in that first round. And I look at this and go, do you really want to put a guy who's a lame duck coach and a lame duck GM, even with Shane, and let these guys pick a quarterback? One of the keys to success with a quarterback is stability. You're not going to give this kid stability if you're getting rid of Daboll and getting rid of Shane after next year. It's time to make these moves, guys. It's time to start changing things up. And I know John Mara doesn't want to be the guy to go ahead and change coaches every other year. Sometimes you got to make the move to get the right guy. I get that you want to give it time to develop, but look what it's developing into: 9-7-1, down to 6-11, down to 2-10 now. Like this is a limbo game, and how low can you go is not a good game to play with records, guys. It's time to make the change. It is time to get a new head coach in there. And maybe that fires them up for the rest of the year. Maybe we see a little bit of different offense in this on this roster the rest of the way. And I know some of you are all going to be worried. I don't want to win because let's be honest, there's plenty of Giants fans that want to tank, and I got to be honest with you guys, I hate the idea of it. But at this point, what else is there to do this season? And listen, we're going to tank whether we want to or not at this point too. We're just tanking by futility here. But we got 5 games left. Of those 5 games, you got the Saints. That should be, a little more of a toss-up game there, but the Saints are a better team than the Giants. Every team is. You got the Ravens, who should crush us, the Falcons, who should crush us, the Colts, who are a better team than us, and the Eagles that could crush us. We could very easily go 2-15, guys. I'm not worried about winning meaningless games because I don't think there's a shot in hell of it happening. What I just want is to not be embarrassed, not be the laughing stock of the NFL, to have a little more positivity at this point, to not ruin some of these great young rookies we have at that point. It happens. It happens on bad teams that are bad for too long. So it's time to make the move. Absolutely time to make the move. As Derek says, go get Belichick. Again, I've said before, I'll say it again. I like Belichick, respect Belichick. I think that it's time for Belichick to be in a role like Tom Coughlin had with the Jacksonville Jaguars. He was I believe the vice president of football operations was the official title he had. And let Belichick be the guy to pick the next people. Let him have that kind of role. I know he wants Don Shula's record as a head coach. I don't want him as a coach. I don't want him as a GM. But I like him in a front office role where he's setting the tone. He's picking the guys who are going to go ahead and be the coach and GM. Because let's be honest, guys, we can't do it. How many coaches and GMs have we got now? We can't do it. Let someone else do it. Get some fresh eyes. Get a fresh perspective. It's got to be done. And I would like in that scenario, like we said it last week too, I like have Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel is your head coach. Bill Belichick is your football operations guy. Maybe Brandon Brown gets a promotion to GM. I don't know. I want Belichick to make the move, though. He's the guy that has the football IQ to make that decision. I think some of the scouting and some of that stuff's kind of passed them by a little bit based on the last couple of drafts they had for the Patriots. But he's still a sound football mind. And he's a great resource to have in that front office. That's for damn sure. Deb says, Mara was for keeping DJ, said Giants set him up to lose. Brady today mentioned how it sets a team back to pay a lot of money to the wrong player. That's a big part of it. It is and it isn't, though, at the same point. It's not the money that we gave to DJ. It was the lack of secondary option in my eyes. We needed to have somebody else to be able to be a fallback, a parachute, so to speak, a cushion if we fall. We didn't have that the entire time. And that's the problem. That's what we need. And Neymar says, fire Joe Shane and Brian Daboll. I'm all for it. Deb says, I have a sinking feeling that Mara is not going to make the changes needed. I don't disagree with you. I think he's actually loyal to a fault. And that's one of the issues he has. And I like loyalty in people. I think it's an honorable trait. But it gets to a point. It gets to the point where you're just done.
If you like that clip, then you will love the full episodes too. Find us on your favorite podcast app and look for us on all your favorite social media platforms.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please subscribe.